All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Supermarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Peter, how you doing today?
Carlos, I am doing fantastic. I had an excellent weekend out at a friend's cottage, and I think we got a photo of that to show my weekend. If it, I can put it up here.
Nice. Let's take a look.
Ready, but if this does not scream gender confused lumberjack, I don't know what does. But there you go. That's me in the background, doing my best to actually look manly and like I know what I'm doing. But well, someone else chops wood in the foreground. So there you go. It's my buddy Brian in the foreground. And anyways, good weekend. You can tell these are guys that don't normally do things, right? I'm feeling special carrying wood. The guy with the chainsaw actually works for Google, so this is obviously not like stuff we normally do. For us, it was all exciting using a chainsaw. So there you go. Anyways, how was your weekend, Carlos?
Weekend was good, man. Spent some time with the kids. Had a birthday party for one of our good friends, so we went over there on Saturday. Can't complain, man. Had a good time and a lot of yard work both mornings. So very productive, very fun weekend. So yeah, it was awesome. And the weather, man, love this weather. Today's 65, 60 in the morning. And this morning weather is just amazing, man. This is God's weather. This cool sweater weather. I love it. Love it.
Oh yeah, this weekend was fantastic. It's been a great. I think September's been warmer than August in the Northeast here, and I was swimming in the lake this weekend. It was beautiful. Anyways, yeah, no complaints. Life is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Friends, welcome to Supermarket Show. Let's get right to it. Starting with our U.S. economic calendar and what's happening for today. And by the way, if you guys have not signed up yet for Brian's recap that he does every week, he gives a whole outlook for the entire week and what's happening, some of the key dates, and a lot of his position swing trading. Very good information to get the week started. He did this one on Saturday, so you can get ready for the weekend. Highly recommend if you're not signed up for it. But Peter, walk us through what's happening today.
Yeah, pretty light today. There are a couple of economic news events. Bostic should be speaking right now, or maybe done already, in fact. We do have two PMI numbers, the U.S. Services and Manufacturing PMI at 945. Those aren't of great market impact. And then that's spelt wrong, but Goolsby and Kashkari are speaking later today. It feels like that after Powell did the big rate announcement. Now everybody this week is feeling comfortable to go out, and hit the speaking circuit once again. They were probably purposely being quiet through the end of last week just to let the market settle out, and now they'll go out and speak. So, but yeah, pretty quiet actually overall. So we've got to rely on our gappers list. We got a couple of things to talk about there. We got some markets that are moving up. We got Bitcoin prices that had a wonderful weekend. Bitcoin had spiked up to, I think it hit 65,000. Did it quite? Maybe not quite, but pretty close. And the market's feeling good, feeling chuffed right now.
Yes, it sure is. We had a great week last week with our Fed announcement that created a lot of momentum for us, and hopefully that can continue on to this week. So, gappers list, guys. A couple of things in the green, some in the red today. Some names here that are not well known, so we'll go through them. And then got some other ones that we know pretty well, like Intel. Mobileye was starting to know very well, not for good reasons, but it's always on this list, either gapping up or down. They're here again this morning, and we got some names that I've never seen before. So let's dive in. All right, let's start with the first one on here. Is going to be NVVE, which we actually did see last week because we did have some moves up and down on this thing. Up 88% this morning, 6.7 million shares traded. If you guys remember, this is our 318,000 float stock, right? So it's very low, up 87% today. Peter, and this thing just seems to be carrying over from last week's action. We had a big day that gapped up to 7. all the way to 8 and then fell apart.
Last week they had a 1-for-10 reverse stock split, so that's what created the action, and I think we're just seeing a little continuation on that. So keep in mind, 1-for-10 reverse. That means what is it trading now? $7. I mean, this was a 70-cent stock just a week ago. Or actually a 40-cent stock, because it was at $4 when the split happened. So yeah, this is it's a penny stock and not something I'm going to pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. I don't like it either. Let's look at BHVN this morning. They're up 17%, 288,000 shares traded. And similar here, I don't see anything that I like today. Big gap up for them. Biohaven. What's going on with them, Peter? Anything worth, any good news?
Well, it's Monday. That means that, it's always Biotech Monday, right? The biotech seem to wait for the weekend to announce the results of their trial. In this case, they had top line results from a trial of something I can't even pronounce. I'm not even going to try on this one. SCA apparently is the abbreviation for it. So, anyways, positive trial results for this thing that's acronymed SCA.
All right, there you go. I don't know how that's going to trade. I don't like it. Let's go to the next one. SMR this morning. Nuke Scale also on our list a couple of times last week. Again today, it just looks horrible. This is pure trash to me. There's the truck. Peter, I'm not interested in this. What's going on? If anything.
Yeah, this thing keeps popping up, but you're right. It's never trades very well. New scale power. It just seems to jump on the back of other news. I don't really see anything of interest that will say, oh my god, I've got to trade this one. There's not even any news articles on it in the last 3 weeks. So I get nothing really.
Yeah, let's move on down to OKLO. And this one had a big day on Friday, going from about $7 to 8.25. It's a smaller price stock, not a low flow, sitting at 69 million shares flow, so a little bit on the higher end. But it just doesn't look all that great. Let's see how it actually traded on Friday. So this is Friday's action. Just one initial pop, and it's just kind of clawed its way back up to the high of the day and ended the day pretty good here towards the end. I'm not a big fan of these stocks that get so low volume. Yesterday, Friday was the big one for them. 15 million shares traded. Maybe a second day opportunity for these guys today. There could be some action on here, but I'm not sure how this thing is going to trade. Your thoughts on this?
It feels like there should have been some news. I see talk of news on Friday, but I don't see the news. So I don't know what to make of this. This is like a utility, I think, an electric utility company, as far as I could tell. At least it's in the regulated electric utilities category, but I don't really know what they are. And like you said, Carlos, just looking at the price action generally, it doesn't look like a very exciting trading opportunity. So probably a pass for me.
Yeah, I leaving that alone, so I don't like it either. All right, that's our gap up list. It's not a whole lot that looks great there. At first, I had it showing stuff that was over 100,000. Once I put the 200,000 filter on this, because that's the new stuff we're doing, all right? Over, not new. We've been doing it for a while. We want to see stocks that have over 200,000 shares traded. There's really not a lot on there, so I just fixed that filter. Anything else you like on the gap up list? I know that there's usual suspects are doing somewhat something here. Nvidia slightly up, Meta slightly up. Tesla is it's going to jump on this list pretty soon if they continue. Anything you like, Peter, that maybe we haven't talked about yet?
Well, we better talk quickly because Intel, it's just about to be on the gap down list. Oh, in fact, there it goes. Oh no, it's gapping up. Anyways, it's right at the break-even point from Friday. A lot of news on this. So on Friday, the big news on Intel, you can see how it was up most of this morning, and now look at it plummeting right back down to Friday's close. Which in turn, Friday's close was a good increase. But the initial news Friday that got it moving was that Qualcomm had made a friendly approach to Intel management, suggesting that they might be interested in a takeover. Intel is currently about a $95 billion company, which means the takeover cost would be somewhere around 120 billion. But so that got people a little excited. Intel started to move. The news over the weekend, or I don't know if it was actually late Friday or over the weekend, was that a investment company called Apollo said that they'd be willing to invest up to $5 billion in Intel, which might negate the interest in a Qualcomm takeover if they can get it a $5 billion cash infusion. So it's there's interest anyways. So Intel's definitely in play. I mean, look at it this morning. How often do you see Intel trading with 4 times the pre-market volume of Nvidia? We got over 12 million shares traded here in Intel and only about 3.5 million on Nvidia. So we're Intel's popping this morning. It's moving one way or the other. So I think it's on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna add Intel on here, guys. So Control A, Control X. I'm gonna clear my list. I haven't done that yet. Here with Dash Trader Pro, we'll add Intel for sure. It looks very, very good this morning. 13 million shares traded. That is going to be in play today. So looking forward to that. All right, let's head over to our gap down list this morning. We have the first one on there is going to be JHX. Roll the truck. Can we burn the truck? Can we have the truck burning on fire? Like from the front, like the entire thing, just a flame just coming in of the garbage that this is right here. This is just brutal. So we want no parts of this. This shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be here. Peter, do you want to talk about this? Throw everything that we got on this garbage thing. Where's Elon? Throw Elon on fire. Just throw the whole thing. Yeah, it's just insane. All right, there it is. What is going on? All right. Hopefully your Monday looks nothing like this stock. Let's take a look at the next one. Now, this one, it's it's been making our list. It has provided some good trading, actually. This is Lunar, LUNR this morning. They're down 2.4, 622,000 shares traded. We see them trade well in the past before. Peter, kind of coming down a little bit here from their recent gap up.
Yeah, well, if you remember last week, the news was that they were getting a big contract from NASA. Not daunted by the fact that their last lunar, moon mission had their ship fall over. Just they're going to fix that, and they're going to try again. So let's face it, when you make moon landing modules, you really only have one customer. So contract from NASA is important to them, and that saw the stock moving. So this is like a third day play now, because that news happened on Thursday, I think. Maybe it was even Wednesday of last week. So probably Wednesday. You can see it there on the 18th when it started to move. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, and here we are. So I just can't see this continuing to get enough volume to be happily tradable over the course of the day. So I love it. I think it's a fun company to follow, not a fun company to trade.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, my friends. Let's we'll stop here. There's nothing else in the gap down or gap up that covers it. So very light list starting this Monday. But again, as we mentioned, there's a few on that we know about that are doing pretty well. You guys are throwing some names out in chat as well. I see Tesla being thrown out. Peter just mentioned Intel, which is not on this list because it's just dabbling above that, around that previous day close line. But yeah, let's Peter, anything that you like this morning on the gap down side of things?
Well, a couple we might want to keep an eye on. I mentioned the Intel news. So the other side of that news, of course, is Qualcomm, right? So usually the company that's going to be acquired moves up, and the company that's doing the acquiring often drops. We are seeing a drop on Qualcomm. This would be a big acquisition for Qualcomm. 120 billion is big for anybody. Qualcomm as a company is about twice the market value of Intel these days. But this still would be a huge thing to absorb if they were successful. Again, for them to publicly have noted that they're interested in talks doesn't mean anything will actually happen. But it might be worth keeping an eye on Qualcomm if you're interested, especially in this news. Again, it might not be today, it might be this week, who knows? But I think it might be interesting to keep an eye there. The other one is Apple. They were in the news last week, as we well know, and everybody's watching to see how their iPhone sales. I haven't heard anything over the about weekend sales. Has it increased or decreased? Is it good or bad? But I notice Intel's gapping down, and they have sort of a rare. They've got over 1 million shares traded, which recently they have not been exceeding 1 million shares by this time in the morning. So feels like they're a little bit in play. Might be worth to keeping an eye there as well. So those are probably the big two on the gap down list that I'm watching. There's a couple of other random things like Microsoft. PLTR, I know those are some popular ones that are gapping down marginally. PLTR has good volume this morning. I don't have any news on that, but I did notice it moving with some volume. So, it can be a fan favorite. So, just others to consider if you're interested.
Yeah, POTR has been on our list back and forth here, and it's just kind of stuck, right? It had the gap up, so it could be interesting though for a an opportunity here. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, who knows? But the way they're setting up here looks really, really nice. So, yeah, that was their news, right? Being added to SP 500, Robert. So yeah, we are aware of it, but again, they were the big
Oh,
winner in this out of the four. The
is that
PLTR being
today?
added to the S&P 500. Well, is it today? I'm not sure when actually
I,
that takes place.
I thought that happened like
I know they announced it
it already
being
happened.
added. I don't know if it
Yeah,
actually happened. I'm not sure. Um,
yeah.
maybe today could be their official day. Who knows? But the news already baked in, right? Even if it's happening today, it's already the reaction was here when we announced it. So not sure, but
Oh
yeah,
no, it is
could be
today.
interesting
Yeah,
today.
it
Okay.
joined the open this morning before the open on the 23rd.
Yeah.
That's today. So, yep.
Yeah. Don't know if they're gonna get the actual reaction out of it, but we'll see. We'll keep it on as a
No,
secondary. They do
usually
have some
usually that
volume today.
positioning, as we've learned, happens in advance, right, of them being added.
Right.
So it's yeah, exactly right there. So
Yeah, that's when we saw the action. They traded very, very well during those couple of days. We'll put it on a secondary for now. Let's head over to you guys. What do you guys like this morning? I saw Tesla being mentioned, which yes, Tesla will be on my list. It has been trading so well the last couple of days after the Fed announcement. I mean, it's been trading really nice. So I'm going to add that today. Volume is only 1.3 million shares traded, up 1.8, almost 2% here. Again, they're not getting the crazy volume that they used to. They leave all that volume now to Nvidia, right? So Nvidia already 3.8. It's pretty low actually, 3.8 for Nvidia this morning. So not a whole lot of eyes on it at the moment. Looks very, very choppy in the pre-market. We'll have to wait for the market open and see how this reacts. But Nvidia is always fun to watch. Might actually be heavily in play today. Looks kind of stuck here. I'll put in a secondary. We can always move that one up. You did mention Apple, Peter, and I forgot to add that to my list. I'm gonna just I'll put that on here as well. So there's Apple. Apple was showing a lot of strength last week. I mean, this thing was just taking off really nice. Hit 232 here, and then since then sold off on Friday and gapping down today. So Apple for sure on the list. Volume 1.1 million shares traded. So that looks pretty good. Looking at our chat here, so let's take a few names here, a few tickers. I see CEG being mentioned by a couple of our traders. So let's take a look here, Javier, and also I see Staffy mentioning that one. So CEG this morning, wow, big gap up on Friday. So nice gap up, did trend nicely. This stock trades very, very light volume. And Peter, I don't remember if we talked about the news on this one on Friday,
we
because
did.
it would have been.
It'll
I don't can't remember what it
it'll sound
was. What
familiar
was it?
when I mention it. The news on
Yeah.
Friday was the fact that they were reopening the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant. Remember
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
talking
We
about
had a
that?
lot of fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember.
There you go.
I remember all the jokes we did on it and everything else. But I just didn't remember the actual ticker. But yeah, I do remember that. All right. So maybe a continuation on that. I mean, this stock just it doesn't trade well for what I'm looking for. Just because the lack of volume throughout the day. So second day play today, but it's got to fit your style of trading. It doesn't fit mine, so I'm going to keep it off my list here. Pure TR we did look at. Dell, yeah, Dell's also one of the ones that was added or taken off. Who knows? But here it is. Yeah, they don't trade well. This is a stock that I wish would trade well, but they don't. They're not good at all. What else? GameStop. I on GameStop. So what's going on with GME this morning? Very light volume, had a somewhat of a heartbeat on Friday. So went from 1953 to about 22. But again, just gotta wait and see when the volume comes in on this one. But yeah, look at Friday's action. Just out of nowhere, you got it going here around 10:15. So yeah, if you have the space, you can watch it. I'm not interested in this one and the way it trades. Over in our YouTube chat, good morning, guys. Let's see. Puppet Master's giving us Baba BABA. If we look at this one, this is gapping up 1.3. It has some volume to it. I like the fact that they kept this gap up on a Thursday. So gapped up on Thursday, shot up pretty good. Sold off a little bit well, gapped up on Friday and sold off. They love selling down. But they're looking strong, gapping up again this morning. Could be interesting. Again, I like usually NVIDIA when it's selling down, when it gaps up and sells down, but um, the last couple of days is showing actually the opposite of some strength here. We'll put it in a secondary and we'll see where that drives us to. AMD is another one that we like to watch. Lately, NVIDIA has been getting all the action out of us. Today, looks like when it comes to semis, Intel is going to be getting our attention this morning, the way it's going there. So AMD can go next to NVIDIA for now. Again, they're very light volume on both of these stocks this morning. We'll have to wait for the market open, see if, even with that light volume, if there is any type of direction flowing on that one. All right, let's head over to PCG. Is this the one that caused the fire? Yeah, this is the one that caused the fire on California. No, not California. Was it California or outage?
Uh,
My bugging. This was that big
PG&E,
one, had
yes,
that
yeah, that was
huge.
California. It
Yeah.
was Hawaiian Electric was the Hawaii one.
Yes. Correct, correct. So I remember that big event. That's the only time we traded this during this time because it was really in play. So today I seen it like this. This 2.5. I don't see this in the pre-market at all, by the way. See that 2.5 million shares traded? I don't see that here. So I'm not I'm not a fan of that. So we'll leave that one alone. Let's take a look here. Baba, we looked at what else? BH, yeah, we did look at that one, the BHVN. It just looks ugly, man. I mean, I don't like the volume on it. I don't think it's gonna trade well. It's a biotech company. The spread on this thing is brutal. It's gonna get better at the market open when the volume comes in, but I don't think by much. So the way I trade, this one is not going to be a good candidate for my 5-minute ORV. So we'll leave that one alone for my end. Just be careful on that one. If you do decide to trade it, volume seems light, so just be mindful of that. All right, I think that covers our chat. I don't see anything else on the chat here,
Yeah,
so we're good.
there's a couple others,
Go ahead.
Carlos, that I see people mentioning. VST is one that Eric mentioned. Vistra.
VST.
That seems to be. Looks like a sympathy play with the 3 Mile Island, the CEG play. I don't love the price
Yeah.
action, but
Give me
it
that
definitely
ticker
had a good
again.
day.
I'm
VST.
sorry.
V is
VST.
in
Okay,
Victor.
got it. Yep,
Yes,
got
there
it.
you go, VST. You can
VST.
see
Yeah.
Friday it had a
Yeah.
good day, moved up fairly significantly over the course of the day with that news. Again, I don't know if it's going to get good volume. It wouldn't make our list because it's under 200,000 shares so far this morning. I see Meta and Microsoft being mentioned. Microsoft did have some good moves on Friday. I was sort of interesting how it was moving with good volume on Friday. Huge, lot outpaced volume compared to the size of the move actually for Microsoft. But I don't know if that means anything to today's price action. I don't see anything special on it. You can just see that giant volume candle on Friday. So, but it makes sense, right? Microsoft plays heavily on. It was a triple witching on Friday, so that volume is not surprising. I think it's going to go back to normal business, normal operations for Microsoft today would be my guess. And same thing on Meta. I don't have any particular news on Meta, although interesting, Meta is at all-time highs. You got to like where it sits on a daily chart. But again, I don't know if that means it's going to do much today. But it is poking its head way up there. Pretty sure this is all-time highs on Meta, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, we're way up there. Anyways,
Yes, it
so
is.
yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, it's positioning potentially for a breakthrough 570 for the first time ever. We'll see if that happens this morning. If so, I mean, I can't say it's not in play. I'm just, the volume isn't overly impressive so far this morning. So, but those are the other ones I see people talking about.
Yeah, I do like Meta hitting all-time highs here. Again, we'll see how it reacts. So we'll add it to the list. Meta doing some
Yeah,
stuff this morning.
Micron. People are mentioning MU, Micron. I don't really see
Yeah,
much happening there. Uh,
yep,
I don't know. I'm not sure
yeah.
if there's news
I
on
think
it.
people are probably
But
looking at the daily, right? Daily looks nice for possible breakout. If you're looking for breakout plays, it's just kind of been stuck here, going back and forth, and you're finally getting some kind of breakout. That could be interesting, but we'll need the volume on it, right? So we'll put it here next to NVIDIA, MU, and AMD. All of these are just kind of hanging out here at the moment, waiting to see what's next. All right, unless we have anything else, friends, let's jump into our community events and announcements. We're gonna hop over here to our website, bearbutraders.com. Click on webinars at the top here. You can always see what's happening for the next 2 weeks, starting with our well, it looks weird. Oh, okay, yeah, starting with Monday here. Peter, walk us through it.
all right. It is another trading week here, which means we have a whole lot going on for you. We're going to start with our onboarding classes. Monday is good to get reacquainted with the trading world. If you're new to the community, then this is the day for you. We have 2 classes for you. One focused on the technology, the DAS basics and pro setup, which happens with Brendan at noon. And then Carlos does his onboarding class at 8 o'clock tonight. So you can attend one or both of those, no matter what your membership level is. Everybody's invited to those 2. They happen in the classroom and you can, or the onboarding room, and you can attend those at any time. Now, Tuesday is our strategy and trade book session. I'm not sure what's going on with our website here. We seem to be like, somebody like fat fingered it and stole some data, but there is supposed to be a session this Tuesday. It should be happening at usual time at 8 o'clock. And I know that Mike's leading that. And he was going to be talking about how you leverage the scanners to identify high of day breaks, which is something that he trades. Gideon's asking if tonight's class is 8 p.m. on the West Coast. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time, market time. So that would be 5 p.m. if you're Pacific time on the West. So to be clear. So same thing on Tuesday. The class that is not listed here, but Mike should be hosting, will be 8 o'clock tomorrow night, again, on a specific high of day break strategy and how you can use scanners to identify candidates for that. So that's Tuesday's class. Wednesday, we focus on psychology. Mike is leading the psychology. We do have 2 classes on Wednesday. Again, I'm not sure why our regular ones have disappeared from the website here, but they are supposed to be happening. So let's talk about the one that is listed. This is a new session we've got. Going to be a regular session on Bookmap. It's going to be happening every Wednesday at noon. It's an opportunity to get more familiar with Bookmap and how to use it. Nathan is going to be leading that. Nathan's a longtime member. He goes to like almost every of the live events. We love hanging out with Nathan, and here he is. He's going to be part of the team now, and more officially. He's been unofficially part of the team for a while, but officially he's coming on and he's going to be doing this Wednesday session. So put that in your calendar because that's a new one at noon. And then at the usual time, 8 p.m. on Wednesday, Mike will be back. He's going to talk psychology, and he's going to build on the session that Randy Howell did to help you understand how you leverage your psychology for better performance. So that'll be Wednesday's class. Thursday is on the site, and it is the regular slate of 4 sessions that we've got, starting with John at 11 a.m., then with Jared and Megan talking options at 2 p.m. Lenny's going to be talking equities at 4, and Thor will close out that day with his 8 p.m. session. So there you go. Why am I hearing crashing? Is that you, Brent? Are you packing things?
No, that's not me.
No, it's not
No,
you.
that's me
Carlos.
running around trying to plug some stuff in here.
I'm
right.
almost packed
I
up.
say that, guys, because Brent, our guy hidden in the background doing all the tech support and making us look good here, is moving halfway around the world to Japan, from Toronto to Japan. How about that? That's
Toronto, Japan.
Toronto to Tokyo.
Yep.
That's a big move. Going to be happening this weekend. So,
But I'll still be
we're all
here.
excited for him.
Just
We're all excited for
halfway
him
across
and
the world.
nervous for us on Monday because he anticipates getting there, getting set up, and being able to do the show with us on Monday. And if he doesn't, Carlos and I are going to be in trouble. So, anyway,
I'm sure everything will be fine. I got.
We'll
backup
worry about that
plans.
as we get closer to the end of the week. But Anyways, all right, guys. So that's what we have in classes. Keep in mind they're Monday through Thursday, all the classes we have. So hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of those, put them in your calendar, and attend. If you want to join us at Bearable Traders, not just attend on the YouTube, then we'd love to have you. We got a number of membership options from the intro through to the elite annual. Keep in mind that intro offer. That's what's described there. You can actually get for a discounted $1 price, right? So instead of $39, you can pay $1 just by going to bearabletraders.com/YouTube. And the dollar is really just to make sure the spammers and the bots don't jump in there because they're cheap. They won't pay it because we want to keep them out of the room. We've had that problem before and we don't want to have it again. But we'd love to have you here. Try it out. If you haven't, you can only do that once. Then you need to join using one of the other monthly or annual membership options that you see listed here. So hopefully you'll, again, take advantage of that. In the meantime, if you want to give us a thumbs up in YouTube, we appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Helps the growth and awareness. And we can keep doing this for you every morning as we get you ready for the open. I love these days, but I know I said it many times. I'll keep saying in case anyone's new out there. Not a lot on the gappers list, not a lot moving, but I think it's awesome because now we can just get focused volume on sort of what I consider my regular movers. And, with a few things like Intel playing there and a couple of others, maybe CEG, right, of the 3 Mile Island news. It's all right. We'll get a couple of things to look at, keep me focused and attentive, and I'm hoping for an excellent trading day today. So let's set some levels so that we can be ready for whatever does move. And that'll be Carlos, assuming he's not throwing things around again.
No, I'm back. I'm back on my desk. All right, so friends, since we are ahead of schedule by far this morning because it's just not a whole lot to look at. I want to show you guys tradingterminal.com and I want to show you the information we have here. And every week, this happens, right? Brian's weekly newsletter, and on there, if you click on it, he'll give you some kind of a brief update on his positions and what he's looking at. And he also has this video here, which I was watching last night. I think he released this one on Saturday. It's just kind of giving you what's coming up for the week, some key levels to look at, all the indexes and also the stuff that he's looking to possibly get in on. I think he has it down here, right? Things he's watching. Right here it is. Positions and trades that he's on already, the stuff he's got in and got out of. So if you want to learn about swing trading, you can also get his book. You should get his book, just not follow, the alerts, but definitely get his book as well, available on Amazon. And then stuff that he's potentially looking at to get in on trades. So if you're interested in swing trading and longer term positions, this is a really, really good thing to look at. So over at tradingterminal.com, click on opinions. You're going to see him post something every week. Again, very, very informational. It's about a 15-minute video, the one he did on Saturday. But again, I really enjoyed it. Gets you prepared for the week. So take a look at that. All right, over to our stocks. My watch list this morning, we have Intel, we have Tesla, we have Apple, and we have Meta. Look at Tesla go here. Tesla is really trying to get things going, creating a new pre-market high there. So very short list, but these all look good for today's action starting this Monday. Let's look at Intel. So Intel, with their big news obviously affecting them, they are down 2%, went all the way into the red. Big bounce this morning. Already you can see there's the range on this thing is going to be pretty nice. So we'll get some levels for it. High of the pre-market and the low are pretty much being set right to the high of Friday, which is right over here. And the low is slamming into the high of Thursday, right? 2 trading days ago. So those are set for you. Do not need to add anything. In between here, I am going to add this 2257. That is coming off a rejection we had here last week. That would have been on Tuesday, I believe. So rejection at 2257. And if we move over to the left, you can see that we're just dabbling into this gap down that we had, this all empty area here, trying to break out. We've been stuck in this for a long, long time. So there's a lot of resistance here. Trying to get above that, has not been able to. This news might drive it one way or the other. We'll see where it goes. Towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, doing a really good job. So I wouldn't even add anything there. I'll just leave this the way it is. The only thing we're missing is levels towards the top here. But I would like to see this break out of 23 if we're going to start investing and putting levels within this gap up, right? We'll have to go back quite a bit to get levels here. So I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Let's see if we can actually get the breakout going, or are we going to break down on Intel? Here's Tesla. Tesla trying to reach this everywhere. It had a couple of days where it just kind of has some resistance on Friday, on Thursday. Couldn't get above, what is this, 244.22. Just struggling with that. High of our pre-market this morning is 243.29. So we'll slam one right over here, 243.29. And then the low of the pre-market all the way down around 239. 239.0501. So we're just slightly above the previous day close on this one. But Tesla showing some strength here towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, doing a really good job with the levels. So we don't got to add anything there. Keep it nice and simple. If we head over to the left, we can find some levels above this pre-market high. We have a real nice, a big level over at 248.61. So we'll mark that there. And then we have another one around 254.66. So a couple of days slamming into that as well.
We might
that PM
might be a quiet week on Tesla. We'll see what happens because they're waiting on news for next week, right? Their quarterly deliveries are coming out next week, and if you remember from August, they delayed their robo-taxi release. Everybody was expecting the robo-taxi out in August, and now it's October 10th when they're having the big launch date. So we'll see if Elon delays it yet again. But Tesla's actually been doing fairly well considering the adverse news and just weirdness, I guess, that's been happening around it. So yeah, Carlos, I'm not sure about Tesla. I usually just keep it on my list because it moves every day, but probably not going to be a big week for it.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? But you know what's the thing about Tesla? Even their range is so big, man. Like we've seen Tesla chop around, right? And it looks ugly on the daily. But if you're able, and I'm not this type of trader, but if you're a Thor type trader where you're trading within the range, you can do pretty well because you get a good move. I won't do well in that scenario. So I feel like Tesla, yes, for me, you might be bad this week. But for someone, it could be great, right? You got to realize when it's good for you and when it's not. It's very important. Actually, not just with Tesla, with any stock you're looking at. So you're going to get the volume. Is it just going to set up for your setup? Set up for your setup. Yeah, I guess that works. All right. So there's Tesla, friends. Apple is had a big week. I mean, it went down to 215, hit 232. Right, that's some big moves in the last couple of days there, and now we're just slightly down this morning. We do have some volume on it, so I want to see where it goes from here. At 8:00, no, 8:30, we had 8:45. We had a nice little drop here, all the way down to 226.60. That created your low of your pre-market, and then you're just surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So we got to see where it wants to go here. I don't really think you even need to add any more levels, right? We're just stuck here. You got the previous day close. You got every level you possibly need on Apple this morning. So that's the easy one. We'll on to the next one, which is Meta. Meta is interesting, hitting all-time highs here. Can they hold that, right? Last couple of days really breaking out here. Gapped up on Thursday, just held basically flat on Friday, and today slightly higher, 1.3 this morning. So high of the pre-market 569.80, which I believe, yes, that is your all-time highs because we didn't go higher on Friday. So that is your all-time highs there. And then towards the bottom, all you have to do really is mark down the low of the pre-market. Actually, it's already marked down for you between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, and you have the previous day close. So everything is set for you there. And that's my list. Intel, Tesla, Apple, and Meta today. We do have some very good. NVIDIA looks ugly in this pre-market, but we got some very good ones down here. We got NVIDIA. We have AMD. We do have BABA, which I'm actually going to move out BABA today, guys. Going to do this one quickly so we can have time for our moderators list, which I see some tickers being thrown out there. We'll see what our team is looking at in a second. BABA, high of the pre-market, 89.70. And towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. I'm going to mark down low of the pre-market at 88.96. And once you do that, I think you're pretty much set on BABA. We recently were up here back in May. We hit the high of 90.40. So I'm going to mark that there just in case this thing wants to go higher. But to be honest, I'm looking for some kind of sell-off, some weakness. I love when BABA sells down. I think when it gaps up and sells down, it is a much better trade when it's trying to push higher. That could change. I'm saying that's going to happen because if we look at the last couple of days, we're clearly in an uptrend. So again, don't hold yourself to that. But if I do see some weakness, I'm going to be, like Peter, a little more short bias on this BABA stock. All right, Peter, tell us what our team is watching this morning.
Well, we're starting to get our lists in from all of our moderators, and they've got, the usual suspects, I would say. Let's start at the top, and that means looking at what Jared is watching, kicking it off with Intel, Apple, NVIDIA, and the SPY overall. By the way, SPY sitting at pretty much all-time high levels here. Not quite. I mean, the all-time high was hit on Thursday. Anyways, so yeah, we're in that territory though, so that's pretty exciting. But Jared's going to keep an eye on it for us. Megan's going to be watching Microsoft, Broadcom, and NVIDIA. Mike's going to be watching Tesla and Intel. Lenny, Apple, Tesla, MU, Meta, and Pinterest. Pins. That's surprise there. All right. Thor is going to be watching Tesla, Amazon, Cisco, and of course his future contracts. Eamon's just watching Apple, going to keep his eye on it intently, as that's the one that's he's targeting. I'm going to be watching AMD, Intel, and Tesla primarily, and with a secondary eye on NVIDIA, PLTR, and Apple. And Phil is going to be watching Apple, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Meta. Now, I hope Pierre is going to be in with his list. We're expecting him to be trading live this morning. So hopefully he'll be here sometime soon with Brian, of course, who we need his list. Brendan's just come in with his list, trading Intel, NVIDIA, PLTR, and Tesla. So we can add that to the mix. And it's looking like a pretty consistent day. I'm interested in the couple of oddballs in there. We've got Cisco, we've got Pinterest. I haven't even looked at those. I don't know what they're doing, but apparently some of our mods see some interest in them. I'm not sure what they're seeing, but that's okay. That's what makes it interesting, right? Everybody's watching something different for slightly different reasons, and you can get some great moves on stuff out there if you're looking in the right spot. So all power to them. I know they will let us know in the chat room when that happens, and if you're not part of the chat room, you won't get to see that. So consider joining us, whether you use the intro offer or one of the other packages. Then you can be part of the fun all day, every day. Brian and Pierre, look at that. See, I knew they'd come forward. Brian and Pierre within their list. Pierre with Intel, NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla. And Brian, pretty much the same list in a different order. He's got Tesla, Apple, AMD, and Intel. He's also adding Nike to his list. Another one that we haven't looked at this morning. What is Nike doing this morning? Not much. Just under 200,000 shares, down 1.5%. Yeah, I don't love the way Nike trades even on the best of days, so probably not something I'll take a look at. But I know Brian; he'll tell me if I'm making a mistake there and something I should pay attention to. So, Carlos, we got your list. I know you're looking at Intel and Tesla, Apple. Baba is another one that you've got that not on any other list. So,
be a
good day.
Yeah. We should be a great day. So yeah, friends, that kind of covers it for us. We'll wait for Brian and Pierre to hop on in here. For me, Intel, Tesla looking good. Apple also got some movement here. Meta all-time highs, and then we have Baba's got some good volume. I think Baba is a sleeper today, guys. That's the one that's going to surprise all of us this morning. I think that's looking good.
Right.
That's looking very, very good. So we'll see. We'll come back and talk about it tomorrow. See how it does. Other than that, friends, we're good to go. Over on YouTube, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning in the pre-market show. Stick around for the live trading. Right now, we're sitting at 152 likes. We'd love to end the show with 300. We have 500 people watching, so it's not a tall ask at all. But so you can help us get there, that would be awesome. So 300 likes before we end the show will be a nice goal for us to hit. And once we do that, we'll be all set to go. Any thoughts on BDTX? Let's take a look. I think we looked at this, right?
Did we?
BD, maybe not. Let's see. I don't remember looking at this. Yeah, it's active. 13 million, 13%. Lower price stock. Just again, gotta be careful with this one. I don't think we did.
No.
Let me see.
This is a biotech with phase 2 data. Again, it's Mondays. I'm surprised we didn't see more biotechs, but usual news, usual price action, right? It's popping up on the news of their phase 2 trial. It's getting some volume. These are just always risky plays. You've got to worry about the halts. and you got to worry about the spread on these ones. So there's certainly money to be made, but it comes at a high risk profile. So just be aware of it, manage it very carefully, and hopefully you'll find opportunity. But frankly, I like the lower risk profile stocks, which is why my list looks like it does.
Yeah. I don't like this one. Again, you have to, it's in play, but you have to really like this style of trading. For me, it's not great. The flow's not bad, 44 million, so a little bit on the lower side, but it's not a low flow stock, unless it's borderline, so be careful on it as well. All right. With that said, friends, we are good to go. Looking forward to how this week is going to open. And we got some great stuff coming up too. We got some good data coming out later this week. So we'll have another busy week. If not today or tomorrow, when the PCE comes out, we'll be busy. We'll get going here. So the page for $1 is down. Let's check. What's the link? We'll get the link. We'll get that fixed. If you want to join for $1 in the onboarding class tonight, we'll get that fixed unless it's been taken off. But I don't think you mentioned it was taken off, Peter, on your announcement. So
doesn't look like it. I'm getting in here. Seems like it's like it's alive.
Okay. Well, we'll post it in the YouTube chat so you have it, so you can log in. Again, that $1 gets you in for an entire week, gets you into the onboarding class that I'm having tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Come with your question. We have a great time there, so definitely join us for that. And then you get access to the chat room so you can see what happens after we get off live on YouTube. Right, it's a lot more stuff going on in the chat room that you can take advantage of. When you look at the flow, what tool do you use? Dash Trader Pro. Well, right now I use Trade Ideas to look at that one time. You can use FinViz. There's so many other places you can look at, and they're slightly different. By the vendor you look at. You can look at TradingTerminal.com. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just use TradingTerminal.com. The fundamentals tab will give you an idea of what the float is. So do it right in there.
Yeah. All right. With that said, just waiting for Brian and Pierre to hop on in, trade live for you guys this morning. Looking for how they start the week. Eamon's looking at Apple long. Yep, he is. BBT discount on Bookmap. There is a link. I'm not sure if there's a discount because I don't use Bookmap, but people love Bookmap. Like the people that are using it, they love it. Brian uses it. He talks about it all the time in the live trading. So there is a link that we have on our website, bearwoodtraders.com. If you log in, by the way, let me just show you this while we wait for Brian and Pierre. If you go to bearwoodtraders.com, this left-hand side menu here, tools, gets you everything that we kind of have access to, right? So Bookmap is here. If there's a discount, it's going to be there. Trade Ideas is here. There's a discount is going to be there. Same for DAS. Everything is on here, right? So journaling, just come on over here and you see all the new stuff that's happening there. I thought I heard Brian. Good morning.
It sounded like his throat being cleared.
Good morning, everyone.
I thought I did. Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
We're doing good, my friend.
I see Maybach in the room is mentioning CCL. CCL, doesn't have, it's got some good volume this morning. 1.4 million shares on Carnival Cruise Lines. I love where they sit on the daily. Look at this breakout area that we've hit like so many times. It was there in December of last year. It was here in July and August of this year. It's been on a run the last couple of weeks. If it can break out through this level, we might see $20. CCL though is like it's a penny by penny stock, right? Like it often doesn't move very much, so you got to be very careful with it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
There's a bunch of interesting stuff going on. Qualcomm's down a bit. Of course, Intel's up on this news that other companies are taking an interest in them.
Yep.
So
Intel's sucking up all the semiconductor volume this morning. Normally,
yes.
Nvidia would have 8-10 million shares, and they can't get there. But Intel's got almost 18 million shares traded. That's amazing.
MU isn't a great trader, but it's up 1.7% this morning. 1.75. It's up a lot. MU could be in play today. Apple gapping down a little bit and looking weak. So Yeah, market's in an interesting place. Big move up Thursday, bit of a choppy day Friday because of partly because of triple witching. So Tesla's up again today.
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good, good. How was your weekend with family, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. We
I'm
managed
going to
to
leave you guys
survive.
to it. Trade
Thank
smart,
you,
everybody.
Peter.
I managed to survive, having family staying with us for a couple of days. So you know how that is. Because
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mother, yeah, my mother always used to say, visitors and fish are the same. Both of them start to stink after 3 days. So it was perfect. They stayed
great.
about 3 days. It was just the right amount of time. So anyway, Baba, I'm surprised Megan's not looking at Baba. Baba's kind of breaking out of a trading range here.
I don't have Baba on my watches. Let's see. A pretty interesting volume, gapping up.
Yeah, seems to be catching a bit of a bid here.
What else you're watching? Nike. I don't have Nike in my watch
I'm
list. Let's see.
watching I'm watching Apple. Apple's kind of still moving lower here. Let me just share a screen.
Yeah, share my screen as well.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was pretty relaxed. Went to a restaurant on Friday. Saturday we went to a river, and other than that, yesterday just really relaxed and resting.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, we got still a lot of green on the screen here. Yields are down, or yields are up a little bit on the treasuries. Oil's pretty flat. I guess Bitcoin's up a little bit.
Let's see what Mara is doing.
So that coin L was pretty expensive, or pretty active this morning. Which is
I think INPC will be interesting today. It's going over the VWAP here. Lots of volume.
Intel.
INPC? Yeah, Intel.
Oh yeah, Intel's volume is picking up on it. I'm gonna drop Nike. I'm not really liking it. I'm gonna watch Intel or Nike. Apple's catching a bit of a bid. Let's see what Intel looks like on level 2. You just got a pop up there. There was an order at 25.50. There is an order at 22.90 and 23. There's an order at 22. Book looks pretty balanced right now.
I think Tesla looks pretty interesting today for a short. If it goes back to test this 244 level that we reject on Friday, I think could be an interesting spot for a short. Keeping a close eye on Tesla today.
Okay. NVIDIA is starting to move a little bit here. Got a lot of Fed heads speaking today. Never used to be a thing where the Fed heads would all go out and find people that wanted to hear them talk, get those speakers' fees. But yeah, now we just got a bunch of them running around. I think even Fed Powell is speaking somewhere.
I think Thor was saying 9:45 should be interesting.
9:45, we've got S&P Manufacturing and Services PMI.
PMI, okay.
Oops, stop that. This reminds me I've got to print this out. Got the one page that I usually, that comes from my presentation or my swing trade news letter that goes out. I get this one page I like to print because it's got sort of key levels on it. It's got the economic events on it, and it's got the earnings stuff on it too. So good to have it right beside me here. Printer sounds like it's going to die any moment.
All right,
Yeah,
5 seconds to the open.
Yeah, it's under my name. You just look under Brian Tyson. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. See what happens.
Yes, be patient, everyone. So I'm gonna let things settle out a little bit here and see if we have some good opportunity.
AMD is selling off a bit. NVIDIA's got some orders. AMD went red.
Yeah, AMD selling. Tesla is going here.
Yeah.
Tesla's pushing to that 244 level. I think it will be pretty interesting to see what happened there. That looks strong. Big order at 245.
Okay, I got long NVIDIA. See if we get a push to 117.
Yeah, NVIDIA have big orders, big sellers on the upside.
I just sold some at 117.97. See what it does on this pullback. Ooh, Tesla pulled back pretty hard. Q's rolling over.
Yeah, Q's dropping.
Getting out of the rest of NVIDIA. Don't kind of liking not liking the pullbacks here. Let's see what it does. Apple's dropping. The Qs are dropping. It's interesting.
Yeah, big drop on the Qs here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm short AMD. Wow, look at wow, I'm glad I got out in NVIDIA. Now I'm short AMD now. See if it can drop some more. This might be a choppy day. It might be we might be in for a lot of chop. Man, I should have flipped my position on NVIDIA. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Anyway.
Oh, wow, Tesla is still holding here.
Yeah, Tesla pulled back pretty hard, but then held. That was interesting.
Yeah, Tesla has been really, really strong the past couple of weeks. Almost back to 250. It's crazy.
And for the life of me, I don't understand why it's so strong. I mean, they keep talking about their full self-driving stuff. I guess is that's the hook that everybody's looking for here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's expecting. I'm getting out of AMD flat. I don't like that trade. Baba's breaking out. Apple bounce back. Yeah, Tesla's
Tesla is strong. It's pushing to R6 there.
God, it could be going to 250 today. What do we got for options on Tesla?
All right, 9:35. So I'm starting to look for potential R&Ds here. I think INTC could be interesting for a short. If it pulls back slowly to the VWAP with low volume, I will like it short. I am short NVDA as well. So I shorted NVDA pretty much when I think you covered, Brian. So I shorted from
nice.
1650.
Yeah, it's really good.
When it rejects R3, it's usually a good spot to go short.
Getting a bounce here.
Apple is holding S3 pretty nicely here.
Yeah.
That 226 level.
Just watching Tesla here, see what it's going to do.
See how the order book on Tesla looks like. The big order at 250.
Yeah. So just got along some Tesla calls. 430, 250s, 430 expiring end of the week. I'll play Tesla with options for fun.
So Tesla still holding the 90 MA. It's right at high of the day here again.
Come on, Tesla, push, baby.
You're long Tesla, Brian?
I am long Tesla with calls, 250 calls.
Nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes there.
Yeah.
I'm still holding my NVDA short. We'll see if we can make another leg lower here.
Dude, I'm going to sell some of them for $4.95. I sold some. That's excellent. Excellent. So I got $5 for those calls in at 4:30. So pretty decent return on investment. That's why I like that's why I took the calls, just for get that juicy risk to return, to the juicy return on investment. Okay, now what? What are you going to do now, Tesla?
Well, Tesla is right at R6. Could be a spot where we found some rejection here. Although the order book is really bullish, I wouldn't try to short it here.
No. Yeah, we still got some orders at 248, 248.50.
NVDA still holding low of the day. Still a big buyer at 115. Let's see if that guy can get filled. I also played along on PLTR when it broke the VWAP.
Nice. Wow. Shit. Just kind of trying to keep an eye on Baba on that pullback.
PLTR was pretty interesting. The candle we had at 932, 933, and then finally 934 when it decided to broke. All that action happening at S3. So pretty nice hold of S3, and then we bounce. So I'm still long PLTR here, short NVDA. All right, so NVIDIA is broken down here. That's good. Heading to 115.
Yeah, nice short. Sold some more calls on Tesla. Just getting out of them. Just okay. Taking a bit of profits.
Anybody in the room catch the bounce on Apple on S3? That was pretty clean.
Wow, yeah, that was nice. Yeah, nice little bounce there. All right. Again, the Qs and the SPY, pretty choppy price action this morning. We're kind of on the Qs, we're kind of dropping in and out of red to green here.
Yep. Yeah. Remember, guys, we have the news at 9:45, so coming in 2 minutes, so that might impact the market. Tesla seems like it's still going here.
Yep.
Some big orders there. 248,
Yep, still sticking.
249, 250.
Yeah, there's this R6 level right at just around 248. All right. Did anyone catch that in Tesla trade in the room? That was very nice.
Yeah,
All
beautiful
right. So
R4
for
breakout.
yeah, good, great guys, way to go, awesome. So Thor's letting us know that the book is pretty much cleared on ES until we get the numbers. So we got S&P Global, U.S. manufacturing, 47, so lower than expected. Services PMI, slightly higher than expected by the looks of it. Yeah, AMD is popping back up again. Nvidia's coming back.
Yeah, it's right back over the VWAP.
Kind of a big order at 117. All right, well, I'm just sitting on some calls right now, waiting for see if we get move higher on NVIDIA. I would love to get to 250 today. I'm not sure what the delta is on this right now, but it's probably about half, probably about 0.4, 0.5, which means the options price moves 40 cents for every dollar in the Tesla move.
Why
Yeah,
is
Tesla.
I'm still short NVDA and still haven't partial yet. Waiting for at least 115.
Yeah, we're really choppy. God. Nvidia's sort of right at the VWAP, so it keeps it's banged up against there twice now. This is the third time.
Yeah, the Q's SPY not doing too much on that news.
No.
Although they're trying to go here. Not sure. It looks pretty choppy.
Yeah, it still looks like a little. I don't think the numbers really were too earth shattering either way. hate to tell you, but I'm long Nvidia again. It's on this breakthrough, the VWAP. I don't know if it's going to hold through here, but Tesla coming up.
Yeah, Tesla high of the day almost. Yeah, Tesla looks like it's ready to break out here.
Okay, I'm going to sell some Nvidia 116.52. Oh, there goes right. There goes Tesla. Man, I should have had it on that pullback. Damn. I was listening to some Devo last night while I was going through my some of my charts, trying to figure out do a little prep work for tomorrow. They were a great band. Are we not men? All right, looking for 117 now on, see if we can get back there too on NVIDIA. Oh, crap. Look at Baba. You bugger. Knew that was going to break out. Again, rejection, a little bit of a rejection here at 240, close to 248. That's this 247.92 is R6.
AMD turned out pretty choppy. It's not doing much.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. The Qs took a bit of a rip higher there, got up to R3 and rejected. I'm guessing maybe Thor shorted it there.
Yeah, right at R3.
Yeah. SMCI is some of our members in the room. Will trading SMCI. Well, that's a nice move. Super micro. Okay, NVIDIA's pulling back a bit, sort of pulling back with the Qs. Had a pop and drop on the Qs. Oh, bit of a big drop on Tesla. Tesla back down to this 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, so we'll see what it does here. Super microcomputer. I just have, it's hard. Just really difficult to trade that because the spread can be pretty bad. But if you get it if you get it the right direction, it really moves.
Samed, yeah, I'm still short NVIDIA. I'm still holding my initial position. I'm also still long PLTR.
Yeah, I've had a long position on PLTR for a couple of weeks now. It's been performing really well. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about it is apparently insiders are really they've always been sellers, obviously, because that's partly part of their compensation. But apparently the insider selling has like picked up like 200
Some news
times.
came out on PLTR last Friday, or I see massive
Yeah, well,
volume
it's
on
getting.
the daily chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting. It was it and something else is getting added to the S&P. I can't remember. There was another stock. Maybe was it Dell? Anyway, PLTR is getting added to the S&P.
Yeah, it went up a lot in the past 2 months. Almost 100%. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought it on that when that news came out for a swing trade.
Nice.
Just watching NVIDIA. I'm just getting ready to get out of the rest of my long here if we break this VWAP, which I'm guessing you're hoping is going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, but looks like the pullback it did right now, it's with decreasing volumes. It looks like it's preparing for another leg higher. But anyway, when I enter a trade short, for example, I'm always sticking to the trade. I'm not trying to change my decision while in the trade. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Simon, my stop loss is at just a bit over 117, so just a little bit over R3 and high of the day.
I'm out of the rest of my long there. It does look like it's
Back at the VWAP.
going to roll over. Spent too long trying to break that 116.70 level. Tesla's still struggling to move up through R6. Qs are bouncing again.
Qs are holding here, trying to push again.
Baba's trading like a dog's breakfast. She usually does.
All right, let's see if NVIDIA can lose their VWAP here. So far, it's trying to bounce from it. Still waiting also for another leg higher on PLTR.
Okay, well, the only position I have right now is a few calls that are left on Tesla, which is a long trade.
The volume is dying a little bit on Tesla here.
Mm-hmm. See if it moves up. A little bit of volume there on NVIDIA. Just wanted to stop me out there.
Yeah, it bounced pretty nicely on the VWAP here.
Yeah. Just dropped a little below it to stop me out. Okay, Q's pulling back again.
Yeah, Qs are going down here.
Yeah.
See if they find some buyers at the VWAP here. NVDA is breaking down here. That's good.
Bounced off PDC. I am going to sell the rest of my calls on Tesla for the time being. 470.
Wow, look at that bounce on the Qs.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. This 482 level seems like an area they want to defend on the Qs.
All right, PLTR breaking high of the day.
And then you've got R3 483.67, which is the basically high of day on the Qs. So watch that range. Just watch that range. See if we do end up breaking out of it one way or another. SPY again trading a very narrow range right now. Seems to be sort of PDC area seems to be an area that support and sort of 469.50 is an area where we could break out of on the SPY.
INTC turned out really choppy. Absolutely no directions today.
Intel is not a great trader.
Mm-hmm.
And some
Having
of this
a lot
news,
of volume, but
yeah, a lot of the news was baked, was already in on Friday. So, yeah, PLTR is breaking out again nicely here today.
yeah, I'm still long from 3686.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm looking for opportunity for a trade. Now I've got a nice trade in on Tesla this morning. Bit of a trade on NVIDIA. We are right at high of pre-market on the SPY right now. This 569.50 area. Let's see if we break out. Excuse me. Now Tesla's rolling over here. Tesla's going to the VWAP. I might take that trade if Tesla gets to the VWAP. Could be good for a bounce. The VWAP is 245.55.
Apple is breaking down here. It's going
Yeah,
back
Apple's,
to test S3.
Yeah, Apple's heading lower again. 226.11. 226.10 could be an area where it'll find support, sort of in this area. There is an order at 226. It might be gravitating to that. It's not a huge order. Yeah, so really some pretty choppy price action now. Like if you look at the SPY or the Qs at least, I should say, we're really stuck sort of mid-range. The SPY is looking like it is threatening to break out.
See, Tesla is bouncing here. It didn't really quite made it to the VWAP, but
yeah, almost got there.
Yeah, and good volume on that candle there.
Low was 245.93. See, what did I tell you? People front run that bounce off the VWAP. Jeez. It actually came down and it actually bounced off the 20 EMA, which is 920 trade. So you get this nice strong open, you get some consolidation, then you lose the 9 moving average, 9 EMA, you come down to the 20 and bounce. That's exactly what we did here. Unfortunately, I did not take that trade.
Would you consider taking it again if it goes test the VWAP again, or that's outside your trade?
On the second one, I don't. I feel like it's less. If we fail here, and make a lower high, then that kind of tells you that there's sellers. So right now we're back kind of at a lower high right now. So let's see what it does. It's going to push through here. We're going to go right back up to R6 maybe. We could push, and go to high of day. Still could get that 250 by the end of the day here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
There's a really big order at 250. But we do have to get through this 248 level first, which is close to R6 5 day.
Yeah. The volume is picking up a bit too on Tesla here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, volume is starting to pick up. Wow.
Well, NVIDIA turned out to be a pretty boring trade here, really choppy. The PLTR trade is working out great though. I'm still waiting for a move higher, at least around like 38. I would like to take a partial there. Staying patient with that one. See, there goes Tesla.
Yeah, and the SPY is breaking. The SPY is breaking out. So
SPY and the Qs, yeah.
Yep, they're breaking out of the trading range here. So or at least the SPY did anyway.
Apple is still weak though. Interesting.
Yep, Apple's right at low of day. I think Apple's had a pretty monster run, so it's on a daily basis, weekly basis. So I think it's maybe due for a bit of a pullback.
Yeah, there's a big gap from last week.
Yeah. Okay, we tried to break out on the SPY and kind of got rejected there. So let's see what the next move is. Interesting.
$116 on NVDA here. So it's the previous place we bounce off. Let's see if we can lose it this time.
Yeah, that was a big drop.
Still trying to hold that 116 level here. Q's bouncing on VWAP. Yeah, it's hard to read the index this morning.
It's definitely buyers. SPXL still trying to, or the SPY is still trying to break out here. Yeah, we're still stuck in a range. Again, pretty choppy price action. If you look at the cues, it's really choppy.
Yeah, no direction.
No. AMD looking a little weak, but again, Apple pulled back, but then bounced. Yeah, I've had a good morning. I don't want really, if I find something I like here, I'll trade, get into it. But I just, until I see something that sets up, looks like a good setup, I'm kind of more inclined to sit on my hands right now and just see see if we break out any of these trading ranges. Let's take a look at some other stocks. Meta had a bit of a pullback at the open, then it had a nice run up to 474 area.
There goes NVDA here.
Yeah, Meta's breaking out of a nice bit of a trading range. Yeah. Qs are breaking down. We're going to go, looks like we might even go head to Friday's low on the Qs, Friday's close on the Qs, I should say. Yeah, NVIDIA's gone red.
Yeah, Meta was interesting. I wasn't paying attention to it, but interesting that it went down, test R4 right at 566, and you see the volume going down to R4 and then just bounced from it. Pretty clean move.
And Netflix is having a pretty good day so far. It's starting to cleanly break out of this 700 level. NVIDIA could be heading to your 115 now.
Yeah, patiently waiting. Jose, I never took Tesla today. Brian traded Tesla with options, but for me today just NVDA and PLTR. I'm still in both.
AMD's bouncing a bit here. Baba's just creeping up now. I'll try a short on NVIDIA just at PDC here, just see if we get a rejection. 115.95. Gonna have to have the Qs are gonna have to cooperate here.
The LTR is having trouble here at high of the day. Let's see if it can move higher here.
Qs are bouncing back here. Sounds again. SPY is trying to break out. Apple came bouncing back. Wow.
That's pretty nice bounce on Apple there.
Yeah. SPY right back at high of day. It looks like SPY is going to try to make a break here. Again, try to break out. I'm going to get out of. Thinking about getting out of this Nvidia trade. I don't think that it broke through the PDC, so and it looks like it's going to break back through VWAP here. Qs are, and it's because the Qs are looking strong again.
Hard to have a bias with the Qs. When you think it's trying to push, it starts rejecting again. It's really hard to read today.
Yeah.
Hey, Pierre and Brian, just letting you know, Jared is going to come in at 10:30.
All right.
And he's going to talk about post-FOMC postures.
All right. Well, that's going to be worth listening to. So another few minutes here, Jared will be on to talk about the FOMC, how things went after. It was kind of an interesting reaction when you looked at it. Looked at it from a sort of a higher level view. We got the bigger cut that everyone was. Certainly the Fed futures, CME Fed futures were anticipating. We got that, and it's kind of what people wanted. But then the market sold off, and then I think the positioning was short for a lot of the futures market, and they got squeezed big time overnight between Wednesday and Thursday, and we gapped up seriously on the Thursday morning. Had that big gap up. So it was an interesting reaction to at least the way things played out here. Qs are breaking out.
Yeah, SPY looks strong here, stronger than the Qs.
Well, even the Qs, if those levels I identified earlier, we're breaking both of them right now to the upside.
Yeah,
SPY is definitely got some buyers now.
Although SPY is right at R4 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful bounce on Apple. Hope some people in the room catch that move.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
pretty clean. Heading towards S3 again, where we previously bounced, and then just broke high of the day.
Video sitting right at the view app, trying to decide which direction to go. Cues are even the cues aren't really pushing it much higher. Apple had a better reaction to the breakout on the cues. Yeah, so we're right back at high of day on the cues, and again, SPY has broken out of this trading range here.
Yeah, so far SPY is rejecting R4.
Mm-hmm.
Meta is testing the view app here. Be interesting spot. I don't like the volume though on Meta right now. NVIDIA turned out really choppy. It still haven't broke the first 15 minutes initial balance. Still stuck in that range.
Yeah, Q's just couldn't break. Tried to break out of that 483.80 area, rejected.
Still confident that NVIDIA is gonna break down at some point.
Definitely struggling. Yeah, and Tesla's not giving it up much. You can see it's using the 20 EMA as support right now, and this area here at 248 still trying to get through there.
Yeah, Tesla definitely looks strong. I'm still convinced Tesla is going to reach those big orders at 250
Yeah.
at some point today. Pretty sure. Well, it's pushing right now. High of the day again.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, Pierre, Brian, it's that time to
It's
say
that
goodbye.
time. All right. Well, everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. We had an okay day, actually. So, got Jared now, and he's always got lots of good stuff to tell you. So, we'll hand it over to Jared. Pierre, enjoyed trading with you this morning. Thank you.
Yeah. Always a pleasure, Brian, and hope
Yep.
everybody on YouTube have a nice trading week. It's always good to share the room with you, Brian.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Good morning, Jared.
All right. Good morning. Thank you, Brian and Pierre. So, happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great trading session so far. I'll go ahead and get my screen set up here. That should work. Okay. So, as always, Mondays are kind of the look around the market and see what's going on from last week, see if there's any continuation, any new money buying or selling, usually trying to interpret any sort of consequences from last week. And given that we had such an important week last week, along with a lot of um, driving forces, not only from a data and maybe macro perspective, but also some market dynamic forces last week. I think this Monday is a really good time frame to really one observe where the money is flowing, and then by tomorrow see if that has staying power. Which, for me, staying power is not just about continuation, but keeping the range that's built. And Monday's candle would need to fully build itself to really know. Um, I'm gonna start off just with the overall S&P, just to kind of give a sense of like where we're referencing, because we're still inside of the Thursday and Friday sessions. So buyers are obviously trying to continue the all-time high breakout, and that was kind of a notable event last week. We had the FOMC day, which included both the release of the 50 basis point rate cut information and all the supporting information behind it, along with the press conference. So any price activity, algo, trade that was taking place obviously took place within that range. Thursday was a nice, interesting push to the upside. It was our all-time high breakout session. And you'll notice I have some levels marked here. These are our weekly expected moves. So while these are not necessarily relevant for the week ahead, it is a nice reference point to see that the market hit the upper expected move last week. And as we're moving into this week, along with our Friday session, we're trying to get a sense of where are buyers and sellers towards those levels, along with knowing that last week's breakout was a combination of two things. One, a lot of people might have taken profit. So if you were bullish into the FOMC, or you had bullish positions from some of the September and August lows, the all-time high being achieved might have been your target. And that really only occurred on Thursday. So potentially some profit taking, but also triple witching on Friday. A lot of the underlying market dynamics towards option trading were either rolled out or closed out on potentially Friday. So all that energy, all that sort of release of, I would say, old money in the market was potentially realized last week. And it's why this week I think is going to be so in focus, because our reference points are really those last two candles, Thursday and Friday. If we clear to a new all-time high, we're going to start looking for some extension targets. And then if we start to break back down, back into the previous ranges, it puts all of the new money buyers into focus because they're obviously going to be considered trapped. And that is obviously, if you're a new money buyer at, let's say, a new all-time high or some sort of breakout point, and you're not getting rewarded for buying something elevated, you want to see a breakout continue, you're probably going to be really quick to sell. And that type of consequence is what we're looking to see, if that does take place. But as of right now, everything basically is bullish, but there's a lot of observation going on. And that was one of the topics I really wanted to cover. Was an all-time high should be considered bullish, but the way it's created, maybe the posture of the market prior to, along with what happens for the next couple days, those are going to be some larger drivers towards our trade, especially as shorter term traders. I may as well also just showcase the expected move for the week. This is something we normally cover in engineering the markets. So our upper quantitative level, or where the options are pricing the risk this week, is about 57.77 in the SPX. So approximately 576 in, let's say, something like the SPY. And to the downside, about 56.27, which theoretically would put the entire FOMC range back into focus. So, if we do see some selling this week, it should start to really show itself by really starting the week off under the close. And it's why this morning, just really observing that we are trading above Friday's close. So little bit of a bullish posture. We obviously want to see a new swing high to really confirm it. There are some nuances with this morning's trade as well that I think are worth calling out. So this being the entire index, it's important to also see if there's energy behind the index. And while not everybody has access to this data, one easy way to get a sense of whether or not there's a lot of driving force behind your index is how are the sectors performing. And, there's a slight weighting to all of these sectors. There's obviously going to be elements towards whether or not these sectors are actually performing or not. But the core view that I have here today is that we have a lot of strength in energy stocks. That's coming off of a little bit of a strong bid in natural gas, and crude is up this morning, but not much else. If we really take a look at all the percentage changes and maybe how the morning trade is starting, not really seeing a lot of excitement towards our other sectors just yet. And obviously the key factors here, our top three sectors for the S&P, which would be financials, healthcare, and of course tech, they're pretty much all flat. So while that is not necessarily critical for the rest of the week, it's not necessarily starting us off on, let's say, a directional bias towards the entire index. And it's likely one of the reasons why the entire index is relatively, we'll call it choppy, but I'll just call it balanced. There's not a lot of core directionality, and we're really just pinging off some old levels from the last 2 weeks, or sorry, the last 2 days. So, if that were to change later today, I'd like to see maybe closer to the middle of the session, whether that perception of sector performance is changing. But overall, not seeing what I would call a convincing element of directionality just yet. And with energy stocks being the leader, that's also not that bullish in general. Having strength in one of the more cyclical and a very small group of stocks towards the entire index is not that bullish. It just means that they're buying maybe some oversold areas, or maybe just something that's repricing towards a neutral range. So the last and potentially kind of critical item for this week is just looking end of quarter. looking at the market through the end of quarter perspective, and we'll have some time on Monday to talk about this further. But because we are wrapping up a quarter, a lot of our larger time frames are going to have some closure towards, let's say, the price action candle, but also positions being changed around that closing price. Oftentimes you'll view this towards, let's say, a monthly period ending, but also with a quarterly session, we're going to have one more full quarter for both the election cycle and just end of year wrap up with, theoretically now a Fed that is entering into a rate cut cycle. So I think that type of uncertainty and potentially um, that type of positioning is going to be a little tricky because it's hard to be what I would say bearish in this market without a perception of risk. But I do still foresee some opportunities for some price drops moving into September and October. And this week in particular, notable because it's often referenced as one of the weaker weeks. So the more bearish weeks for the S&P. So while September has not really been a super bearish month, we could still end on some weakness given that we're at the high end of the pricing. So just looking for those more short-term opportunities, monitoring sector performance, and then of course noting some relative strength today, which there's a couple stocks that are obviously bucking the trend. More from the sector side, though, we definitely want to note things like energy being our leader as of this moment, and obviously that can change throughout the rest of the day. So, couple questions within the YouTube side. Today is a very choppy day. Any tips on how you can spot upcoming choppy days? Basically, how to choose stocks or in a trending direction. One of the easiest things to do is just note that on your opening, you're going to be caught between session highs and session lows. So, based on where the SPY opened, we're slightly above the Friday high, but we're also below the Thursday session, or at least like within range. So that can be viewed as choppy, but it's mostly because there's a lot of levels kind of packed within those sessions. And the market's really good at just pinging off of them to basically just fill up that range. There's also a bit of an overnight gap down on the Thursday to Friday session. So part of our morning trade was actually filling up this very small kind of nuanced area. And as you can see, the Thursday, I won't call it the close, but right into the close, we had that sort of theoretical drop and then a gap down into the overnight. Part of that trade this morning was actually filling it up. And for the most part, we could have done it quickly. We could have done it a little bit better. We just don't have the right sectors moving right now. So there's not a lot of energy behind movement. And usually things are overlapping. I would say it's difficult to determine that 100%. Yeah, there is no 100%. But 70% of the time, if your market or if your asset is going to open between highs and lows or in a really difficult area to trade in general, like you've seen proof of that already, there shouldn't be a big expectation for it to change. So the market makers in that area will often play price action the same, which simply means that there's no real bias. It's very neutral. Some people call it balance. It just depends on how you represent those areas. So how can you tell if a high a day is valid or a fake out? Level 2 volume. One of the best things is closing, but volume helps. I usually also like to think about posture, which is to say, if a stock is going to break out and hold, it should be doing it without a lot of like question behind it. It should be so obvious that you kind of have to be in alignment with it. And there's a couple names out there like Tesla had a very nice 2-day high breakout with some strength behind it. They're obviously moving it up to some, more historical levels, but overall it should be clear and there shouldn't be a lot of fighting in that area, because the more fighting that's going on, potentially enough of the, let's just call it the bullish or bearish side, will start to profit take, and you'll lose participants, which allows things to come back and, assess them. You obviously don't want too much backside on a breakout. Let's see. Questions in the room. Can we show the expected move for the NASDAQ? So the way to get the expected move is through the option market. And I like to look at things once they're closed. So for me, if I wanted the weekly expected move, I would need to force the data back to the weekend so that I have a closed Friday NASDAQ and I could look at the Friday this week as the expiration. If I do that using this platform, then I'm showing about 9.3 as the expected move, 9.33. And that's with a closing price of 482.44. So, if you feel inclined, just go ahead and calculate based on the closing price and then adding and subtracting about $9.33, which is actually pretty large. The NASDAQ does have a pretty nice pricing for expected move. And what that kind of tells us is like, yes, we're up here right now, but if they're expecting a move down here or potentially up here, none of these local levels are going to be in place for very long because the week has much more potential. So it kind of gives us an idea of what can break and what can't. It'd be very difficult to target 460, but 490 seems in reach. And then obviously if we fall back somewhere around 472, given that we're trading about 482 into the close on Friday. All right. I think that's pretty much it.
Jared, can you plug for YouTube your Engineering the Market show?
Absolutely. I can plug myself. So, Engineering the Market is something that is offered for the Bear Bull Trader chat room. It's hosted every Monday through Thursday at, let's see, that would be 8 Eastern. I'm active at 7 Central, but 8 Eastern. It's 30-minute session. We really just go over some quantitative data, some market posturing, some potential trade ideas, and we kind of get prepared for the day ahead, along with a little bit of wrap up towards the end of the week. So it's a good session to kind of prepare. It's really good for short-term swing traders and some of the intraday opportunities that we spot based on how we're about to open. So feel free to join the chat room and get some of that additional information packed in.
It's a must watch for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think that's it with
a lot of
questions.
people.
Yeah,
A lot of people
love
say
it.
they can't live without it, so I must keep providing.
Yeah, exactly. And with that $1 deal, you should be able to experience that for a week.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. I guess
All
that's
right.
it. I don't think there's any more questions.
No, I think that's it. Appreciate all the questions for today's session, and hope everybody's having a great trading day. We'll see y'all next week, and or for me, I'll see y'all next week. But otherwise, have a great one.